This committee justified its subpoena to me based on its assumption that I have information regarding the investigations into the criminal activities of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Let me be as clear as I can. I do not. As I stated in my sworn declaration on January 13th, I had no idea about their criminal activities. I do not recall ever encountering Mr. Epstein. I never flew on his plane or visited his island, homes, or offices.
Yo, the only thing that I believe that she said in the opening of this deposition is that she has not flown on any of Jeffrey Epstein planes. That's it. They called you in for the deposition, Hillary, because you do have information that could be helpful to the investigation. Now, whether you give that information up or not is to be seen. And you being who you are, which is an attorney, you already know the tricks, you know the language. So therefore, your representatives are truly there just to say that you do have representatives. You can handle this thing yourself. I know throughout the years, you have been Bill Clinton's cleanup woman. You have been his Olivia Pope. And once again, this is what you are going to be. Now, as far as you saying that you don't recall ever meeting Jeffrey Epstein, these pictures say different. You guys look like you have known each other for years, man. And if you did not know him, that is because you chose to turn a blind eye because your husband was very, very friendly with Jeffrey Epstein. And so the very people that you say you will fought your entire life to protect from, to me, it's the complete opposite. You built up organizations to protect the predators and not the prey. We're going to be getting into some of these depositions with Hillary Clinton and with Bill Clinton, man. But let it be known that these folks do not care about the victims, and these people are truly not investigating this matter. And I do not believe that they are doing anything to bring anybody to justice. All right, man. So yeah, I found it oddly strange that Hillary had such attitude with being subpoenaed to this deposition and them asking her to help them investigate the matter of Jeffrey Epstein, right? Especially after she opens up talking about how she has advocated for so many years since her days as being the first lady, which dates all the way back to 1993 to 2001. During that 8 year time, how she dedicated her life advocating for women who have been SA'd by powerful men. And so, if there's anything that you could do to help them come to some type of solution as to who is guilty for assaulting these women and who is guilty for putting these women through the trauma that they have went through, even if it's somebody that you claim that you didn't necessarily know, and if you did not necessarily know him the way that you say that you do, then it should even be that much easier for you to come to the deposition and give as much information as you have on it. But let me be clear here that this is not a deposition of the United States to convict anybody or to bring justice for the victims. This is nothing but a circus, man. That's all this is. This is eye candy for the people, and this is an appease for the people to make it look like they are. Because when you think about Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, the information alone that has come out of these files on Bill Clinton lets you know that Hillary know way more than what she was saying in this deposition, man. Why did they call Hillary in? I have absolutely no idea. I believe Hillary when she say that she was not on the island. I do believe her when she say that she has not flown on any of her planes, but I do not believe her when she say that she did not know who Jeffrey Epstein was or Ghislaine Maxwell, and that she do not recall ever meeting them. There is no absolutely way. And you're going to see that they even built up organizations, right, in other countries. And the way it sounds to me when I listen to it, these was organizations that they built for the very purpose of funneling young women so that they can SA. And Hillary knew about this here. She knew about this here. This is a corrupt system and it's only going to get corrupter. And we're going to see how corrupt it really is. Check it out.
My heart breaks for the survivors, and I am furious on their behalf. I have spent my life advocating for women and girls. I have worked hard to stop the terrible abuses so many women and girls face here and around the world, including human trafficking, forced labor, domestic violence, and sexual slavery. For too long, these have been largely invisible crimes or not treated as crimes at all. But the survivors are real and they are entitled to justice.
You know what we going to do, people? we going to let the evidence speak for itself, right? Because clearly we cannot depend on the words that is coming out of Hillary Rodham Clinton's mouth. We can't do that, man. We got to understand that she is an excellent attorney, and this is a very, very bright lady, man. Very bright. She has been covering up for the crimes of her husband for years. Like I said earlier, she is Bill Clinton's cleanup woman. And if Bill Clinton listened to her when he do his deposition, we're going to talk about his deposition as well. I haven't gotten to it yet, but I am going to get to it because I gotta hear what he gotta say. If he listened to her, he might walk away with this thing saving face. But we're going to go clearly by what it is that we see. And what we see in these files when it comes to her husband, whom she should know more about than anybody else. But if what she is saying is true, then she don't know anything about her husband at all. Because what it looks like to me is that her husband like two things. He liked kicking it with Jeffrey Epstein and he liked young ass women. And it seemed like he spent a lot of time on Jeffrey Epstein's island kicking it with the second most thing that he liked most, which is young ass women, man. This is crazy, man. How she gets up here, she is diverting. She is pointing the finger at everybody and everything else. But when it comes to Bill, he'll tell you, hey, you got to ask him about that, which is right, right? Because I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not going to incriminate nobody in my family either. That's why I said I don't know why they brought her up here to begin with, but the evidence is overwhelming, not only with Bill, but also with her as well. You knew who he was. Stop telling us that you did not know who he was, that you do not remember meeting him, because it's obvious that you did, Hillary. It's obvious that you did. So all of this that you will fought to protect women and that the perpetrators need to be brought to justice, I'm not buying it because you was living with, and the record speaks for itself. You have been living with, you have been walking with, you have been sleeping with one of the biggest SA offenders in all of America, man. And everybody knows it. I'm not saying anything that people do not know. Everybody knows it. This is why I say there will be absolutely no persecution on any of these men in America.
If you are new to this issue, let me tell you, Jeffrey Epstein was a heinous individual, but he's far from alone. This is not a one off tabloid sensation or political scandal. It is a global scourge with an unimaginable human toll. My work combating sex trafficking goes back to my days as First Lady. I worked to pass the first federal legislation against trafficking and was proud that my husband signed the Trafficking Victims Protection Act, which increased support for survivors and gave prosecutors better tools for going after traffickers. As Secretary of State, I appointed a former federal prosecutor, Lucy DeBaca, to ramp up our global anti-trafficking efforts. I oversaw nearly 170 anti trafficking programs in 70 nations and directly pressed foreign leaders to crack down on trafficking networks in their countries. Every year, we published a global report to shine a light on abuses. The findings of those reports triggered sanctions on countries failing to make progress, so they became a powerful diplomatic tool to drive concrete action. I insisted that the United States be included in the report for the first time ever in 2011, because we must hold ourselves not just to the same standard as the rest of the world, but to an even higher one.
All right, Hillary, man, we hear you talking, right? We really do. We're about to start wrapping this segment up on you, man, in your deposition because there is plenty more that we got to get to, and we are going to get to it. But when I listen to this clip right here, this is what I envision. Just say that you and your son or your daughter live in the state of Texas, and we're going to narrow it down to the city of Houston. We're going to narrow it down a little bit more. You're in the city of Houston and you're in the county of Harris, right? And your son or your daughter are huge drug dealers, almost to the point to where they could be considered kingpins. So what you do is that you decide that you're going to become a sheriff. When you become a sheriff, you build up this team or you build up this special force. And we're going to call this force EDGE, which is eradicate drugs and gang enforcement. So you build up a special force called EDGE, and you and EDGE are out pounding the streets. And as a sheriff, you know, sheriffs, they patrol counties. And so what you and EDGE is doing, you are out on the streets eradicating drugs and gangs in every county around Harris County, but Harris County. Why do you miss Harris County? Because that's where your son or your daughter is at, and they are conducting business. That's all I hear when I hear this clip right here. Is that you set up all of these organizations to protect women and young girls from being SA'd and trafficked, but it's in other countries. You're not even looking at the country that you are in because if you looked in the country that you are in, one of the first people that's going to jump out is who? Your husband. See, at this point in time, I don't even know why the name of Jeffrey Epstein is even being mentioned anymore. He's gone. These are his files, but we need to be investigating the people that are in these files, not Jeffrey Epstein. Everybody know who and what Jeffrey Epstein was. This is not a secret, but let's deal with the people who are in these files. See, Hillary said it earlier, and I agree with him that the administration for real need to hold up their end of the bargain with the transparency of these files. If anything is to be redacted in these files, it should only be the survivors and the victims of these pedophiles and these SA offenders and these traffickers that is in it. But every name that is guilty of SA and trafficking and pedophilia, every name, regardless of who it is, whether it's Clinton, whether it's Elon Musk, whether it's Trump, whoever it may be, their names should be released and they should be investigated, prosecuted, and convicted to the full letter of the law. We got more to come, man. We're going to end this segment, though. We will be